So another point, I think injuries haven't been a concern too bad. Sabonis was out. I remember talking to Nick because we found out that Oladipo was actually playing, and I think we found that out like within both of us found that out within like the next 24 hours. We were like, oh,
Yeah.
Oladipo's actually playing, and for me that changed my opinion, and I was like, oh, okay, Oladipo, Sabonis plus the rest of that depth and roster and chemistry, like that team probably has one of the best chemistries in the NBA. I would say. And I was like, okay, I could see an upset. If they are in the right position and get some good wins, I could really see an upset and wouldn't be surprised. Um, but now Oladipo's in there and Sabonis is out. It's really the same effect, injury-wise. In addition, the Rockets had probably the next biggest injury with Eric Gordon. I've been pretty vocal about it. I don't like Eric Gordon, really. I think his days are past him. I didn't like when we signed him too much for that longer extension. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to support him. He hasn't been playing well. He got, thank goodness, he got an injury that sounded wrong. Thank goodness his injury wasn't horrible. He's only out for 2 weeks now, which he'll be back for, I guess, the first round of the playoffs, really.
Yeah.
Which is that's a miracle. But I don't really think that hurts the Rockets, to be quite frank with you. Jeff Green has been playing really well for the Rockets. And in addition, we got, all the other guys that really, I mean, the Rockets don't need star depth. They just need players that can do the exact same thing that everyone else does, which is catch threes, shoot them, can make a decent pass, occasionally drive in, and can defend decently and knows how to transition in defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Eric Gordon's injury, I'm with you there, how his days are definitely past him. He's one of the most injury-prone players in the NBA. He just seems to always have something that is wrong with him. But he has had flashes. He had a 50-point game against Utah now, and he beat Utah without Harden or Westbrook playing, so that was pretty impressive. So he can have flashes, and he can if he has a stretch. Like all we need him, all for Rockets fans, the Rockets just need him to have a stretch of basketball where he scores 15 to 20 points a game for a series. If he can have that, yeah, like if the second round of the playoffs comes, we play the Clippers or Lakers. If he can have that stretch be his best stretch when he scores 15 to 20, makes 3 to 5 threes, that's all we really need. Like to be honest, so he doesn't have to be great because he's probably our third, fourth best player. So Harden and Westbrook are gonna carry the load. He's just been so bad, and I think he was shooting 37% like in total this year. So yeah, I think definitely his days are definitely past him. But for this year, he's kind of that guy who can score other than Harden and Westbrook. So we just need him to score, I guess. So yeah.
And I was texting Nick. I was watching the game yesterday with the Rockets, and I was just texting him. And the commentators on there were making some really good points. And this is not just about the Rockets or the Celtics is who they were. It was about in general, about teams. And I think it's showing is that we're seeing teams that don't feed off of energy from the field. That they create their own energy, do well. And the Rockets do that. They don't really feed off of others. If they're hitting well, they're hitting well. If they're not hitting well, they're not. But it's like that team has an energy around them, We see the 76ers, it almost comes from the fans. It comes from the atmosphere, I think teams like the Raptors, the Rockets, I think some teams, like even the Heat, like they all have energy. And I think it doesn't come from external factors. It comes from them genuinely liking basketball and them really determined to win and their passion. And not to say other teams aren't, but honestly, I haven't been too impressed with the Lakers. Celtics, okay. I mean, they're good, of course. I actually think the Bucks are going to hurt a little bit. I think they get a lot of energy from their home, and I think it's going to hurt them. And I do think teams like the Raptors, the Rockets, and the Heat, the Pacers, I think all those teams. The point I'm trying to make is I think they can do well because they don't have those fans.
Yeah, I think basically to sum up your point, like in a couple sentences, I think what you're trying to say and what I agree with is the teams that have the better chemistry with each other that don't need the fans to pump them up are gonna do better because like the Rockets, they need chemistry to
Mm-hmm.
have their thing work. Small ball, you have to have chemistry. If you don't have chemistry on small ball and like talking, communicating, there's no way it's gonna work. So teams that have better chemistry and better coaching, which the Rockets coaching can kind of be iffy sometimes, but their chemistry makes up for it. But teams with the better chemistry, they're gonna do better in this environment. I think it's kind of what you're trying to say. So
Yeah. Also, I have liked the Wizards. They've been, or not the Wizards. I'm sorry. I like Orlando. Orlando's
yeah,
been playing with a pretty good chemistry, and they've just been playing decent, some good ball.
yeah,
They played hard against the Lakers, and they took them to the end. And that was with LeBron and AD playing some, and some of their starters playing. Like they were playing well. And I'm not taking too much stock from the scrims, but like I've enjoyed seeing what they can do and seeing that they've been playing well. Um, just sort of another takeaway. Also, let me ask you this one last thing. How have you liked, if you've seen many of the scrims, what are your thoughts on the ideas of them pumping in sound? How do you think they've been doing with that?
I haven't honestly watched like any of the actual scrimmages. I've just kind of watched the highlights, so I haven't really heard a whole lot of like the crowd noise and stuff like that they're doing. I think it's an interesting idea for like them to
Mm.
bring in. Are they bringing in like 2K, NBA 2K like sounds and stuff like that, or is it some kind of?
I don't recognize it, and honestly, it just sort of sounds like faded sort of sound. Like it's sort of,
Okay.
I don't know, it's like filler noise.
Yeah.
And they've done a really good job adjusting. So respect to the NBA is really like
Okay.
finding little stuff to pump in sound. You can hear music. On the screens, they make it feel like a home atmosphere as well as
Yeah.
possible. So they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. Like, I mean, if you're a team that needs like different noise, it's hard. It's hard, especially for fans. They're doing it probably a lot for fans too, watching from home.
Mm.
Like, it would be really kind of just boring to watch like teams just run up and down the court and like I don't know. Like, I feel like you need some sound to like have some noise.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I just hope they don't make it really over the top. Like if you put in like 2K sounds and had crowd noise the whole time, I think that'd be a little over the top. But if you just have little sounds here and there, I think it would be fine.
Nothing obnoxious. I know they've been playing some like sound effects, and it's like, okay, you don't need to go that hard.
Yeah.
The commentating's been really good. So hopefully they keep it up. I'm hoping that some moments that if there's any like buzzer beaters, anything, they aren't ruined by the fact that you know something big's gonna happen or there's no fans or the atmosphere is there. I hope there's nothing that
Yeah.
gets ruined. But that's really all we got to take away from this. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below, and yeah, we'll keep you updated during this interesting times.